Once they receive the petition, they ought to put in their defense, and they have 4 days. Once they put in their defense, we have what we call the interlocutory session.
Right.
During that time, we'll have a pre-trial conference where they'll make sure that all the pleadings are in order. If there are any issues can be settled before the full trial begins, are settled. And thereafter, we proceed to the full hearing.
All right, all right.
So, but between you and me, even before they are served, I can assure you that the Jubilee lawyers are already burning midnight oil to make sure that they are not caught napping.
And it is 25,000 pages, quite a tall order there.
Precisely.
By the way, footnote.
Yes.
Given the amount of attention and time and economic loss to the country and the economy, it would be most unfortunate that this turn out to be another farce, that this turn out to be a court of jokes and jesters. Just given the amount, you see, businesses have not really come back to where they're supposed to be pre-election. There's a lot of expectation. Actually, as a country, we're pretty much on freeze mode.
Freeze mode. I mean, schools are not sure whether to open or whether to
I've been around the
extend
country. I was in Nanyuki yesterday. There's hardly any. I mean, people are on freeze mode for, let's say, a month. That's a major loss to the economy. This would be unfortunate if that loss is just for the sake of drama and theatrics. But to the extent that it's for meaningful determination of issues in a manner where even the losers feel, okay, this was fair. Because remember, we talked about uniting the country, right?
Right.
Well, you feel, okay, my person lost, he lost fairly, this is good, let's support the president, etc. That's very important, even from the standpoint of the need for legitimacy. Whether it's me, whether it's Uhuru, I need to come into a country where you're leading, and this is the same problem you have in the US, where a vast number, maybe a majority, are against the president, are wishing him downfall, etc. Even if Uhuru is upheld, Michelle, he must understand that 7 million people are not with him, and that's a problem. And you don't fix that problem by the former majority leader, Adan Duale, running and saying, we're waiting to be sworn in so we can chase Auditor General Oko away, for example. You know, that is extremely damaging, and that's my great approach.
Tommy, let's hear from you as we move away from this topic.
There are certain things that that are happening at the moment that shouldn't be happening. For instance, one branch of government criticizing another. Okay, you need these institutions, but you criticizing them gives the public a negative image of that branch of government. Say, for instance, the executive criticizing the judiciary, going directly after specific judges and things of that nature. And just like what Murkomen has done here, that's something we should really stay away from. It's happening in the US too, Trump criticizing judges. It's very important to be careful about those kinds of interactions.
And the sanctity of our institutions. But of course, the institutions that are independent also have to prove their own worth to Kenyans.
And Michelle, just one last one. I think when talking about the unity of the country and what Benji has said, that 7 million people voted Raila, given the preliminaries that we have, one comment that I would like to make about President Uhuru, to be fair to him, his speech was very conciliatory.
Right.
He must be applauded for that. And he says, and President Uhuru has this tone where he really, really unites the people. Unfortunately, after President Uhuru, everybody else, when the moment he or she opens the mouth, discord and division spreads.
I always say he's his own best spokesman for the government. Nobody in the government is better than
Uhuru sounds sincere.
Precisely. Uhuru sounds sincere. But look at Mheshimiwa Murkomen. Look at Mheshimiwa Duale.
Look at Mheshimiwa Ruto.
And look, number two. So every time the president speaks, I get the feeling that if only this was the only guy who was speaking on matters of government, even pro-Raila people would say, okay, Mheshimiwa, let's go that.
Let's work. Let's
move.
But
the unity has to come from both sides. We've seen this from President Uhuru Kenyatta. Are we seeing the same will from the
And Michelle, remember, when you tell Raila, accept and move on, he did in 2013, whatever the merit of 2013. And as soon as he has moved on and his people, you are busy insulting him and telling him, William Zavitanda Willie, alipoteza. For God's sake, you pleaded with him and said, let's accept and move on.
Ile group ya wale wangwana.
He moved these people and they accepted.
Don't keep rubbing it in his face every day.
Yeah, the next minute, you're insulting him.
Right.
And Raila is no small politician in this country. Just before this session, Benji was saying, he's the senior most politician in this country.
Right.
He's actually more senior than the president in terms of...
Politically, yes.
Politically, he is. Yeah. So let's give the credit due. And Francis Atwoli said it very well. If you're an African, go to Karen, Honorable Raila's home, and tell him, mzee, tuajua hayakwenda vile ulivyotaka. Lakini tumekuja kuomba. Kenya ni yetu wote. Twende mbele. There is a way that will work on Honorable Raila's conscience. But you don't tell the Honorable Prime Minister, accept and move on, and in the next rally, you are throwing insult his way. Even those who support Raila can support President Uhuru, and they ought to support President Uhuru. If we are respectful as a nation, if we respect others, and preach peace.
All right.
Michelle, allow me, this is just yesterday, allow me, I'll be very brief, to quote the president verbatim. This is yesterday at State House, speaking to all the contestants who won in Nairobi County, a county that commands more than half of the GDP of this country, a county that has been mismanaged under the Kidero administration, a county that must lead the way on devolution, and in not doing so, that endangers devolution itself. Because if Kenyans see that the county government of Nairobi cannot provide services, cannot account for money it collects, then they will ask themselves, why should we have a county government in Bomet? This is more of a philosophical thing. The president, quote, Nairobians want to see efficient garbage collection, clean water, and better traffic flow. In short, they want to see a rapid and significant improvement in service delivery. Quote, most of you have been elected for the first time. Do not allow power to get into your heads. I have seen many taking that route, and they failed. Wananchi are the wakubwa. And that is why we want to change Nairobi for the benefit, quote. We want to change Nairobi not for the benefit of leaders, not for the benefit of the few who are able to make it on their own, but for the vast majority who depend on us to change their lives. Last quote. Please preach peace. If you must celebrate, do be moderate and thereafter start offering services.
Precisely.
Kenyans who elected you are watching, and after a short time, they will start questioning whether you are fulfilling what you promised. Quote, that is the president yesterday.
Show humility.
Look at that kind of language.
Right.
Now, as to how they follow through after their rhetoric is my question to the Jubilee government, because there seems to be a gap between the president's personal pronouncements and the actual actions of his government even from before. I'm told that if he's upheld and he continues, there'll be a lot of changes. But this kind of tone is very, very, very important in leadership. This is very important for a country. You can see that this is actually what can bring unity. There's no, alluding to communities and ethnic tensions and all of this 17th century stuff that we're dealing with every day. But the problem is the people that are around him must follow suit. Indeed. And then provide the kind of approach to politics that Kenyans young.
All right, so let's leave that alone. The presidential petition is something that we'll keep following up on. But we had 5 other calibers or positions that we had leaders elected in. Let's take a look at page 19 of the Standard newspaper this morning. Kenya decides, and the sub-headline here is fiery ex-senators take governors' hot seats amid lofty dreams and hype. So